I've been racking my brain trying to work out how to begin discussing a film as profound as The Ninth Configuration. I feel like for this, I'm going to have to go back. Way back. William Peter Blatty was born January 7th, 1928. He hailed from a devout Catholic background. He began his career working in PR, out of the University of Los Angeles as well as the University of Southern California. In 1961, he won $10,000 as a contestant on the Groucho Marx quiz show You Bet Your Life. This allowed him to quit his job and focus on writing full-time. By 1965, Blatty had released a number of novels, including Twinkle Twinkle Killer Kane, as well as beginning his partnership with director Blake Edwards. Their most notable work was The Shot in the Dark, which Blatty penned. In 1971, Blatty released his novel, The Exorcist, which became a New York Times bestseller. Soon after, a film adaptation was commissioned, with Blatty writing the screenplay, along with William Friedkin in the director's chair. The film went on to be an even bigger success than the book, with Blatty winning an Oscar for his screenplay. This success brought him back to Twinkle Twinkle Killer Kane, which he adapted into the 1978 novel, The Ninth Configuration. Blatty attempted to get Friedkin to helm the movie adaptation numerous times, however their schedules couldn't align, so he took over directorial as well as writing duties for the 1980 film, The Ninth Configuration. The film follows Colonel Kane, played by Stacy Keach, enlisted to a rural US castle used to house former military personnel who are suffering from mental illness. His job is to ascertain whether these men were real in their illness or faking.
Simon, sir! Shut your fucking mouth! And put!
Listen, I know my rights. I want to see my urologist.
His examinations of the patients leads him to a close relationship with Cutshaw, an astronaut played by Scott Wilson who suffered a breakdown before his mission into space. Their relationship leads to discussions about religion as well as other philosophical debates, all culminating in Kane sacrificing himself in order to give Cutshaw clarity. The first thing I have to talk about when discussing this film is its writing, as it's one of its greatest aspects. With his 20 plus years experience in writing professionally, Blatty is able to craft an experience that simultaneously feels profound, funny, and real. The subtleties in the writing aid in crafting three-dimensional characters you can understand as a viewer from only one or two scenes.
Weigh your dress, and then your bra, and then your glasses, and... Cooper, is this necessary?
Look at the signature.
Major Marvin Groper.
Sir, I got phone call after phone call this morning from broads who got letters just like this one.
Where did you get this?
Well, sir, some of the women, they,
Women?
Well, they happened to come here today and...
Happen?
Well, sir, I asked them.
Obviously, it's not only the writing of the film that propelled this point, but the cast as well. The film is an ensemble of masters of their craft. It was the main reason I initially looked into the film. You have great character actors such as Neville Brand, Joe Spinell, and Jason Miller in supporting roles. You have Scott Wilson and Stacy Keach as the powerful lead characters, and you have Ed Flanders in the role he was born to play, that of Colonel Fell. I think that without Flanders' portrayal, one of the main narrative cruxes would have fallen apart, as it is revealed in the second act that Colonel Kane is actually a patient, as he has suffered a breakdown after slaughtering dozens of Vietnamese civilians. Kane believes the murders to be committed by his dead brother, but in actuality, his brother is Colonel Fell, who is overseeing his treatment, knowing that the best way to help him is to let him try and treat the other patients.
Gave him a halfway out. A way to find help without facing his illness. A way to hide from himself. But mostly it's a way to wash away all the blood. To do penance for all that killing by curing.
This twist is pulled off masterfully with its subtle setups. From the two brothers' first meeting, to Fell's presence throughout all of Kane's meetings with the patients, to the usage of Sergeant Krebs, who is enlisted to help keep an eye on Kane. With other films, this could have easily fallen flat, but because Blatty fills the script with compelling dialogue, themes, and characters, the twist is paid off, as the viewer will have a hard time seeing it coming upon first viewing. The sequence in which Fell discusses Kane's history merges the brilliance of Blatty's writing and the great performances. If it wasn't for Blatty's words and Ed Flanders' presentation of them, this plot twist could have destroyed the film. It could have made it feel melodramatic, but with the subdued way in which Flanders portrays Fell, and the realistic tone in which Blatty comes at all of his works, the sequence comes across as rather poignant. The themes of this film that I touched upon before appear to be centred around faith, and the existential questions that come with this. The relationship between Cutshaw and Kane is built around this prospect. All of their interactions are philosophical debates. These discuss psychoanalysis, their lives, and most notably, religion. The two's most interesting discussion comes when they are discussing selflessness and the idea of sacrifice. This seemingly becomes the crux of these two's relationship. Cutshaw suffered his breakdown because he was scared to go into space. He was scared of the loneliness that would come with it, and he was scared of dying alone. Hence, you get a man who is angry with the world because he is disappointed in himself for not being able to go through with it. And on the other hand, you have Kane, a character who is traumatised by his past and desperate to not let that side out. It's not until he lets go and embraces that side of himself in order to save Cutshaw from the biker's attack does he get clarity on both sides of himself. He sacrifices himself in order to pull Cutshaw out of this haze and back into service. This is literally shown when Kane underlines the words shock treatment in his notes. Not shock treatment in the sense of archetypal psychoanalysis. You know that Kane would never use these methods, just from his interactions. He wants to understand these people as they are and be open with them, not conduct tests upon them. This form of sacrifice is so clear throughout Blatty's work. At the end of The Exorcist, after Father Karras has expulged the demon from Regan, it begins to take him over, so he throws himself from her window in order to stop this. The theme of struggling with one's faith can also be seen in Blatty's work. From Father Karras in The Exorcist to Kinderman in Legion, the killings of the Gemini killer keep occurring, but Kinderman cannot comprehend that these people are being possessed. He has been a policeman all his life and believes in the rationale of police protocol. However, it is only after he realises the demon's power that he embraces his faith and can find a way to defeat it. I know I have mentioned Blatty many times throughout this video, but I feel like I have to, because this film and its maker appear to be more interconnected than most others. The aforementioned themes of religion echoed throughout experiences in his own life. The St. Christopher that is shared between Kane and Cutshaw appears to be a symbol of the relationship Blatty had with his mother, and how it got him through his own crisis of faith. And I think it is this point that makes the film so sentimental to him.
And my late parents, who came to this country on a cattle boat, and whose love and whose courage have brought me to this moment and to this place. You've honored them tonight, and I thank you very, very much.
Blatty went so far as to pull distribution from Warner Brothers as well as United Artists because they defied his demands about how he wanted the film presented. On top of this, he has recut the film numerous times, not only to present a better product, but I believe because his perspective has probably changed, so his specific focus of the film has changed with it. In closing, I want to talk about this shot and what it represents to the overall film. The shot shows Cutshaw finally in space, and placed across from him is a crucifix. The shot is shown a couple of times throughout, and it also plays a big part in the marketing. I believe it is a depiction of these characters finding their faith or purpose through letting go and embracing themselves or their calling. Narratively, the astronaut is a representation of Cutshaw, but I also believe the crucifix could be representative of Kane. The first time this shot is shown to the viewer is in a dream of Kane's, and could be perceived as him knowing that he must sacrifice himself in order to save Cutshaw. It also has another meaning to me. The shot works within the narrative due to Blatty's and the character's Catholic beliefs, but I believe the message is also one that can be translated to anyone, in any situation. If you are able to push through and achieve goals, you could find a higher purpose, something more to live for. Something that I believe not only speaks to issues of faith, but the issues surrounding mental health as well. I think it's a highly positive message from Blatty, and one that you should carry with you. One thing I feel like I must say is that this film feels like something unlike anything I have ever seen before, but I feel like when I come back to it, my views will probably change, just like Blatty's have. But that's what makes this film so compelling.